Welcome to SDAES University Execution Support Training. This course is designed as an introductory overview of the Availability Execution Support, or AES, program. During this session, we'll talk about how the AES team supports execution by working closely with government maintenance teams. Our focus is on controlling cost growth, improving project outcomes, and applying lessons learned during execution to prevent future requests for cost changes, or RCCs. This training will establish a baseline expectations and execution support and how you interact with planning, maintenance, and shipyard personnel. Slide 3. Throughout this training, you'll hear a number of acronyms that are standard across planning and execution. These acronyms are used daily, so familiarity is essential. As you go through this course, you are expected to learn and confidently use these terms in conversations with maintenance teams, planners, and leadership. Slide 4, course objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should understand shipyard training requirements, how to conduct a work package review, and how to identify notable findings. You will also be expected to understand and memorize gap codes, review CFRs and RCCs, complete RCC analysis, maintain work records, update the ESLA tracker, recommend template changes, complete after-action reports, and maintain strong communication with maintenance teams and the planning floor. Slide 5. As execution support, you are required to meet shipyard training and safety requirements. This includes OSHA 10 Maritime Shipyard Certification, which no longer expires, and the VSRA Safety Orientation for Shipyards, Virginia only, which must be completed annually. You must also be familiar with shipboard navigation, safety procedures, and protocols. Safety awareness is mandatory, not optional. Slide 6. The work package review is one of your first and most important. I'll start over. Slide 6. The work package review is one of your first and most important responsibilities. You must save a copy of the work package and conduct a thorough review. This includes work notifications, ship checks, work items, materials such as LLTM, GFM, and CFM, and any reference documentation. If anything is unclear, contact the maintenance team for clarification. Slide 7. Strong relationships with the maintenance team are essential to success in execution support. This starts with introductory meetings to understand roles, priorities, and challenges. AES supports maintenance teams by assisting with critical path RCCs, new work RCCs, and scheduling impacts. Weekly meetings, check-ins, and attendance at TI-invoked events are expected. Communication and staying informed are vital. Slide 8. During execution, condition found reports, or CFRs, document conditions that differ from what was planned. CFRs often lead to RCCs. Each CFR must clearly define the issue, include detailed description, provide background information, and offer a recommended solution. Cost and schedule impacts must be clearly outlined. Poorly written CFRs can always lead to growth. Slide 9. An AES reviews all CFRs, answered and unanswered, to identify corrective actions, lessons learned, and minimize growth. For unanswered CFRs, determine the course of action through email communication, in-person visits, or verifying if the issue is already covered under a Category 1 standard item. For answered CFRs, determine whether the issue represents a lesson learned, template issue, or planning alerts. Slide 10. Gap codes are essential to accurately identifying cause of growth. You're expected to become familiar with all gap codes. While this course provides a summary, SDAES University 2.6.6 covers gap codes in depth and should be reviewed regularly. Slide 11. RCCs are categorized into 4 main groups based on gap codes. Correct classification is critical. Misassigned gap codes can distort cost data, trend analysis, and future planning decisions. Slides 12 and 13. These slides list individual gap codes. You should not only memorize them, but understand which each code represents and when it should be applied. If you're unsure of a gap code assignment, research the issue and coordinate with the maintenance team. Slide 14. A request for contract change, or RCC, is a formal document used to change the scope, cost, or schedule of a contract. Growth RCCs modify existing work scope and usually result from CFRs. New work RCCs add work that was not originally included in the work package. Understanding the difference is fundamental to accurate analysis and reporting. Slide 15. AESs review all RCCs, settled and unsettled, to identify issues, lessons learned, and minimal growth opportunities. All CFRs and RCCs must be tracked daily. You must determine whether the RCC resulted from growth, new work, descope, or another cause. Slide 16. For growth RCCs, AES conducts historical research using the SDAES folder. This includes reviewing brokered work notifications, templates used, ship checks, PCFRs, references, LLTM, erratas, and addendums. RCC analysis identifies trends and root causes and requires collaboration with the duration analysis team. Slide 17. Communication with the maintenance team is critical. Lessons learned must be communicated to planning maintenance teams along with immediate recommendations for implementation across current availabilities. Template change recommendations should be submitted when applicable to prevent recurrence. Slide 18. For new work RCCs, review newly created work items and consider maintenance team advisement for future availabilities. For descopes, determine whether the cause was a planning error or inspection issue and submit planning alerts as required. Slide 19. Root cause analysis focuses on template accuracy, front load adequacy, and material correctness. You must communicate gap code corrections, reassure maintenance team that lessons learned will be applied, and keep them informed of actions taken. Slide 20. Slide 20. Accurate documentation is non-negotiable. Work records document all research and completed work. lessons learned must be incorporated into the ESLA tracker and followed up weekly. Staying current with NAVC standard items is also required. Slide 21. An AES work record includes work specification information, CFR and RCC numbers, settled cost, gap code, scope, and root cause notes. This record supports analysis, reporting, and leadership visibility. Slide 22. The ESLA tracker captures execution lessons learned and tracks cost avoidance. It is maintained on a weekly basis and cumulative cost avoidance metrics and supports template recommendations and planning improvement. Slide 23 and 24. Lessons learned must be formally documented using the Lessons Learned Concurrence Request form. Implementation requires coordination between the APS, planning floor, maintenance teams, and AES to ensure lessons are applied to future availabilities. Slide 25 and 26. Template change recommendations must be supported by Objective Quality Evidence, or OQE. This includes past RCCs, reference changes, or a clearly justified explanation when historical evidence is unavailable. Slide 27. AES completes an after-action report following meetings with the maintenance team. The after-action report captures attendees, discussion topics, decisions, follow-on actions, and ensures accountability. Slide 28. Clear communication between the AES and planning floor ensures lessons learned are applied and planning errors are corrected early. Slide 29. In this lesson, we've covered execution support responsibilities, RCC prevention, work package review, gap codes, documentation, communication, and lessons learned implementation.